What's up? What's up? Y'all see what it is? You can make it a great day or not. The choice is yours. All right, we got some note-taking time. Y'all see what it is? And then we're going to move into the lab. So let's get it. Yeah, pause if you need it. All right, so here's the notes. I'm going to get up out your way. Take the notes. I'm going to go and grab some things real quick while you're taking the notes, okay? Boom. Bam, and bam. Okay, so we did some of this in the lab already with Newtons, right? And we used this spring scale right here, right? We use the spring scale to find everything in Newtons, right? So again, Newtons is about force or weight. You see that right there in the table, so make sure you got that written down. Then the next thing we use, we use this digital scale right here to find the mass in grams. Now, you could, sometimes this scale can go grams or milligrams. It actually can go smaller than that. I think it almost goes to micrograms. So it can go very small. But if you had a bigger scale or a larger scale that had more capacity, then you could go to kilograms. But this scale does not go to kilograms, okay? Then the third one there is meters, centimeters, or millimeters. And on here, you have, oh, wait, down there. On here, you have meters, which is the whole, right, meter stick. And then you also have centimeters on here. So those are all those little guys right there are all centimeters. And then in between there, those little marks, those are millimeters. So you do have meters, centimeters, and then millimeters on here as well. So those can measure distance. They can also measure like length or width, right? Those kind of, or height. You can measure those kind of things. And then in liters, which we haven't talked that much about, those would be how we measure the volume of liquid. So it would be something like this, right? And then a graduated cylinder, right? And then you could just pour water in, no problem, or liquid in. And then you can find out the volume. And you would do that in milliliters. And if you look really closely, I don't know if I could get you to see it. But it says milliliters right there. So this is actually in milliliters. Or you can say liters. So milliliters or liters, okay? Those are what those are for. So those are some basic units of what we would call the metric system. All right, so hopefully you got all those things in your notes. I am going to tell you, this will be on the quiz. So I'll show you guys that inside here in just a moment. But that will be on the quiz. So I'll show you the slides and the practice slides. Okay, hold on. All right, so if you come in here, boom, right here we have the review slides. We also have a practice quiz for you. And then if you're home and you're like, this video right here has all of the lab. So just quick snippets of the lab, each different stations of the lab being done. So if you're at home, or like, let's just say you're here one day, you missed the other day, it has all of the lab videos right there in there. You have to fast forward about halfway through. It's about halfway through the video. You fast forward, you can see all the lab stations. Okay, so I just wanted to put that out there because that's probably as far as this video. Oh, we're gonna go. We got one last thing. So we're gonna actually, let me pause something. Okay, so let's go through the lab station real quick with you. The first lab station. So we did this one as a class, or we're doing this one as a class. So all the lab stations will have directions like this, and then you'll need to read them first, and then make sure that you're matching up. This station says that tingling feeling. Okay, station, that tingling feeling. Okay, boom. So lab stations are all matched up. This is the first one. Okay, and then what you're going to do is you're going to follow exactly what the lab station says to do. So it says keep hand flat and slap the surface of the table lightly. So, okay, did that. Then it says repeat the process, but this time slap the table much harder. Talk to your partner about the difference between the way your hand feels after slapping the desk lightly and then harder. So here we go. Woo! Now I feel a significant difference. Also, I felt something different in my feet. So we'll talk about all of those things. So let's go ahead and write down some of these things. Like, what did we feel? What did we think? What was going on there? So let me get my little pen there. Boom. And let me get out the way. I'm really out the way now. I'm really out the way. Okay. So first thing it says, describe the boundary of the system. And I'm going to say table And that A doesn't look that good. So table edge. So the edge of the table, I'm going to say, is the boundary of the system. Then it says, what are the interacting objects, this system, and how are they interacting? So I would say hand and table are colliding. That's what I would say. So those are the parts of the system, and then how they're interacting, and then what's happening. So hand and table are colliding. All right, cool. Now on to the next thing. And what we're going to do here is now we're going to do some drawings. So it says, you will draw 2 diagrams of the system to represent each trial. Show both trials, the lighter versus the harder. So this is lighter over here. Okay, so I'm just going to label that because it told me to label. And this is harder, right? All right, cool. So now we got that much. Then I'm going to go ahead and draw the table. And what Mr. Farr is going to do is, because Mr. Farr is like, I don't want to do a whole bunch of extra work. So I'm going to draw the table twice. And I'm going to go like this. And I'm going to label it table. Boom, for both of them. Hey, check your boy out. Okay, then I'm going to draw an arrow here to represent my hand. Because it says right here, drawings can be simple line diagrams and do not need to be elaborate. So then I'm going to draw this force like that because that's kind of what I felt. And then this one here, I felt a lot more, I used a lot more force going down, but then I also felt a lot more force back on my hand. Okay? And then I'm going to label this and this as hand. All right. Cool. So everything is labeled. This is what happened. I answered all the questions. That's how you should be doing each lab station. So if you're watching all the lab stations on video, then you need to watch what happened, and then you need to go ahead and answer all the questions and then draw accordingly. Make sure that you label each part of your drawing so we know what is what, okay? All right, y'all. With that being said, that is it for today. Peace. Don't forget to study for the quiz on Friday. I'm smarter than I think. I'm braver than I seem. I'm stronger than I feel. And I can do difficult things. All right, y'all. Peace.